Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ask the Nanny. Tonight, we have a special show about fatherhood. I have five fathers here that are going to tell us their experience about um, how their parenting styles, their good times, bad times, the funny stories, uh, probably a few blowout stories. Nannies, we kind of have fun with those stories because we get them all the time. But before we get started, I'm going to have each of them to introduce themselves to you. And then we'll get started. I have a few announcements before we actually get into the questions. So I'm going to start with Chris and let him introduce himself to you and tell us a fun fact.
Okay, my name is Chris Sawyer. I'm in Jackson, Mississippi. I'm a police officer. I have three kids, two boys, two girls, and one boy. Kristen is 23, Kaylin is 4, and CJ is 20. Yep.
And a fun fact.
A fun fact, let's see. We were told that CJ was going to be a girl. So we were thinking.
Well, that is a fun fact. So did you have all girl clothes and then had to go buy boy clothes?
Yeah, we went down that road with all the pink and everything, and
wow,
God had another saying in it. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Jay.
hello everyone. My name is Jay Johnson. I'm from Dallas, Texas. I am a serial entrepreneur. I work in project management for commercial architecture. I'm a real estate investor, creative finance, and then on the side, I actually do a social media management strategy. Fun fact: here recently, when we did our 2-year checkup, doctor pretty much assured me that my son Benton, he stands at 3 feet right now. So he's pretty much assured me that he's going to be at least taller than me, which is above 6'2", when he finishes growing.
Wow. I can believe
it. Yeah, eating everything.
He has a hollow leg.
Yeah.
Okay, Michael.
Hey, I'm Michael Roll. I live in Austin, Texas. I'm an investment manager at a pension fund here in Austin. I have two kids, two boys. Fraser, he is 3 years old, and Douglas, he is 6 months old. So it's a fun time right now in our household during this global pandemic. Fun fact, my son was born on August 17th. My dad was born on August 16th. And my brother was born on August 15th. So we got a string of really important men in my life have birthdays right back to back to back.
Wow. My son was born on August 13th. Wow. Okay, Trapper.
My name is Trapper Lolly. I live in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. I'm an orthopedic surgeon. We have a 16-month-old tomorrow, and he's a handful. A really funny kid, and so we just moved here is probably one of our fun facts. So always fun to move during a pandemic and get to know a new place.
And Kevin?
Well, I am Kevin Johnson. I'm Angela's brother, and I might be related to Jay as well. We've got the same last name. I am a carpenter by trade. I do new construction, remodels, specialize in kitchens and baths. So, fun fact is, I am a singing carpenter.
Yes, he definitely knows how to sing. For sure. All the family reunions, any family function, the first person they call, we got to have Kevin sing. So, yeah, he is the singing carpenter. Hello, Denise. He says, hi, Uncle Chris. And Sunshine Marshall says, Chris Sawyer. And Life of a Fantastic Professional Nanny says, hello, hello, hello. All right. Now we are going to get started. Let me make sure I don't have any other. Okay, let me turn this down. Okay, I think I got everybody. Now, so my first question is, how has life changed you how did life change for you when you became a, because I know there are certain things that, the car probably changed, man cave became the playroom. So tell me, how did life change for you when you became a father? Anyone can jump in.
I'll go ahead and jump in. For me, I can just summarize it by like the highs are higher than they ever were before I was a father, and the lows are slightly lower. And so it's just everything is intensified. Everything's more important. I feel more responsible in my life. Not that I was irresponsible before. I just feel like I need to be more than I was. And frankly, it's just the best thing that has ever happened to me. I feel just so in the right place, and it's the most wonderful feeling to be a dad. But I think just the roller coaster is a much funner ride, way high and way low.
Okay, so we got a roller coaster. Anybody else?
Yeah, sure. Well, for me, I became a father at 23. At 23 years old. At the time, I was in college, playing football, and everything changed instantly. Um, Kristen, which is my firstborn, her goals became my goals, and maturity level changed. Growing up in Jackson in that time, I guess in the early 2000s, you had a lot of things going on, a lot of negativity about black men not going to be able to live past 25 and all those things. So I was dealing with a lot of different emotions for that, and just trying not to. And at the time, her mom and I wasn't married, and so I was dealing with not trying to be that guy, that negative dad beat. I was putting a lot of focus in that, and just the maturity level just changing. Uh, Realizing I had to pick and choose where I go, where I hung out. I was really into like going different places, playing basketball, and doing a lot of different things, and all that changed. All that changed about different places. Starting to stay home more, and just looking at life in general, and just and like I said, having a girl first was something. It just was something about those girls. They just changed your whole outlook of life and how you look at everything. And so that was a big step for me.
Next, I would say for me, it definitely changed my definition of what patience is. So even though it's funny because I heard whenever you ask God for patience, He will definitely put something in front of you to test where you're at to go to the next level. Um, I would say that I felt that I was ready when we had Isabella. Shout out to Isabella. I know she's watching, so Daddy just shouted you out, so you don't have to fuss. Uh, yeah, that'll be a big thing when this is over. So, but I can just remember that process of just going, of having her and bringing her into this world with my wife, and just the joy that brought. And I mean, I can go back to a dime. One of my best testimonies is just literally hearing from God the minute she hit this earth. Of just when people talk about they have not seen what He's done physically, in the flesh and in the spirit, and I can remember that moment. It was very slow. It was very, I was there. I experienced it, and so that was one thing that just kind of just changed my whole mental outlook of what fatherhood was, is, and is what was going to be at that time.
Proper, Kevin?
For me, I think again, what some of the other gentlemen said is you end up being home a lot more. You can't just run into the 7-Eleven and grab a drink if you're thirsty. Like, you got to get the kid out and do that stuff. And just like my whole priorities changed. There's no more, going and working out after work. So now you have to do that before work so you can come home and take care of the family, and just like little changes like that, so you can get to see him before he goes to bed, and that, it's all worth it, but it's just it's been a change.
Okay, well, mine was a little bit different than you guys. I kind of got thrown into it. Teenage boys, I was in my late 20s. So it was a little bit different for me. So I had to learn fast. You guys got to get to see them grow up. When by the time I got them, they were just about grown, had their own way of thinking, had their own way of doing. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. Me and my wife didn't have any children, so we were afforded the opportunity to raise four young men that are all doing very well right now. So it was our pleasure to do it. Enjoyed it. Would do it again. So that's my spin on fatherhood.
Good. So, now that we know how your lives have changed. Okay, so Kimberly Brown says, hello, all. And Sparkle says, hey, daddy. And Linda J. Oakley gives you all a thumbs up. Let me see if I have any messages from over here that are not on the screen. Nope, I don't have any. Okay, so now to my next question. How many children do you all? I know you said how many you had, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
I think we covered that. Okay, so tell me, those of you who have more than one child, was the first one a lot different? Was the second one a lot different from the first one?
Yes. Yes.
Hey guys, how's this work? Like, we're in negotiations right now. Am I setting myself up for failure here?
You're in negotiations, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I see Toya has joined us. Now, Jay, what was it like having a singleton and then having?
It was night and day. We pretty much planned when we had our first child, Isabella, and we were trying for one more, and the good Lord blessed us with twins. And I can remember looking at the screen very ignorantly, like, why do I see two circles up on the screen? And the nurse, who happened to be a twin herself, said, "Sir, every circle represents a child you're about to have." So, I would be lying if I said it didn't take a while. And I think when I had to turn in my car, that was pretty much set to a coupe all my years, and I had to turn that book in for a family SUV that sat five. I think that's when it hit me. That's when it hit me. It's like you can't pull up in this thing.
Trying to take three kids out of a coop.
Yeah, all these car seats in the back. He's like, "No, brother, go on and hang it up. It's a wrap."
Oh wow. Oh wow. Okay. Linda J. Oakley says we almost adopted, but that fell through. Still not sure why. But I have been a nanny to 28 and 21 years, including one set of twins, Jay Johnson, full time and pimping. Kevin Johnson, you adopted 3 teen boys. Blessings. Linda, those were my boys that he was taking care of. They went for a summer visit and they called me and said, Mom, Uncle Kevin said we can stay. I said, what? Uncle Kevin said we can stay. We already called the school. You did what? Can you send our paperwork to the school? No, I didn't agree to this. I agreed to summer vacation. I did not agree to. But the thing about it is, they stayed, and all he had to do was tell them, don't bring home less than a C. He didn't bug them about homework. He said, he just told them, okay, bring home less than a C, you're going back home. And why did they all get good grades? Whereas when they were at home, I'm like, okay, come on, let's do homework. Let's do this. Let's do that. And we got to do this. I'm pulling teeth, and he just says one word and it's done. And I'm like, seriously? Is that all it took? So, but yeah, let me see. Oh, hold on. Okay, he's still here. Okay, but I understand what you mean when you say taking care of twins, because I've taken care of 38 sets of twins. So I know it can be a surprise. My third son, I didn't find out I was pregnant with him until 5.5 months. So you talking about a surprise. A child, I had planned to go to school. I had plans I had all these plans that I was going to do, get my dental work done, all of this, and none of that happened. And I think it took me a couple of months to realize, okay, you're pregnant. That means you can't go to school. That means this. So adjusting my mind, I feel you, Jay. I feel you, because I had to really just get all that out of me, because I was all in my feelings. Because I was like, no, this can't happen. No, I got plans. So yeah, I feel you on that one. Now, tell me, what is one of your greatest joys with your children?
I think for me, it's easier with my older son because he's at that age. He's 3. It's anytime they do something nice out of their way, even their own little way for anyone else. I want my sons to be raised into kind men at their cores, and so whenever I see something like that happen, it makes me so happy. So an example recently was, before the pandemic, when my son was in school, on the first day of school, he came home. He said, "Daddy, there was a sad boy. There's a sad boy at school." I was like, what was he sad about? He said he was sad his parents, left. And I was like, what did you say? And my son told me, I went to him and I said, it's okay. Your parents will come get you later. And just something like that. Like it just,
Oh,
just because like that, that's awesome. And nothing could make me happier than that.
well, that just proves that you have talked to him, and you have giving him words to where he knows what to say and how to empathize with others. And that's a great thing. That's one thing that I try to do as a nanny, is to try to get most people call it reverse psychology, but I try to get kids to empathize with other children, so that they will know how it feels. How would you feel if you were sad? How would you feel if someone came up to you and did this to you? And they're like, no, I wouldn't like that. Okay, well then what makes you think that person likes it? What makes you think this child likes it? So I try to get them to empathize and get them to see that their actions have potentially hurt the other kids, and get them to ask them, so what do we need to do? What do you want to say to him? You have anything to say? And kind of apologize is what I'm expecting. But if they don't apologize, I'm not going to make them. But I do talk to them about whether it's hitting or saying hurtful words. I do try to explain to them, these words hurt, or you're hitting him hurts, or you're biting him hurts. And because I used to teach in preschool, a 4-year-old preschool class, and it was always something going on. But using using their words and teaching them that it's not okay to hurt your friends. It's not okay to use those type of words with your friends. So that's what I try to get across to them. Now, we'll go to Trapper. What's been one of your greatest moments with little man?
So he's recently just started talking. So now when I come home, as soon as he sees me, he screams, "Dad, Dad," and runs over to me. And that's got to be like one of the most heart melting things that can happen is he's so excited to see me when I come home that and he has his name for me and just runs on over.
Aww, that's so sweet. Okay, so Chris, I know Miss Sparkle has plenty of things.
Yes. For me, like I said, I have 3, and Kristen, I would have to say it was a blessing to see all 3 of them come into their own character. Even though they all have similarities, but to see them come into their own character. For Kristen, is when she's always been very smart in school. Is when she won the science fair project, and I think she was like maybe 8, and her project was elected to go to Jackson State. Which, when your project win number 1 at the school, they take all the number 1s and get them to Jackson State. And I think that was just a blessing that watching her at that age work on her project, which was a reading fair project, which was Charlotte Webb, and and she had a board and did everything. And like I said, she was really into it, and she was just so excited about her accomplishment. So that was a big thing for me. For CJ, being my son, he the big thing for me was, he wanted to play football because he knew that I had played. And I had always told him that if he didn't want to play, that's fine. But he wanted to show me that he wanted to play. So, but what he didn't understand was that at the Pee Wee level, that it's a contact sport. So they kept asking him, because he could run real fast, and he didn't understand when he didn't have the ball, why was he getting hit? So he was at his first game. And, the whole family was there, everybody was watching. I was on the sideline, of course. And they was like, "Come on, CJ. Come on." I was like, "CJ, come on. They want you to go in. They want you to go in." And he looked at me and said, "Dad, why you keep asking me to go in there?" And he was like, that was it. So he was retired before he got started, So, and of course, my little highlight, of course, Kaylin is only 4. But the highlight for me was this past year, we had our father-daughter dance. And Kaylin is a artist. She loves dancing, she loves singing, and she loves drawing. So she's my little Renaissance lady. And when we had the little Christmas recital, and to go out there and dance with her, and to see the look on her face and how excited she was, that was my moment. I'm a crier. I cry about anything. I mean, if they can just call the kid's name, they could be last, I'm gonna cry. Those are my moments with him.
Well, before we get to Kevin and Jay, we have Chris. You have a whole audience here. Beretta says, "Hey, Chris," from me and Bishop. Patsy says, "Hello, everyone." Annette Johnson says, "Hey, Chris," from Papa E and Mama. Daryl, it just flipped. Daryl Owens says, "I see you, Chris," coming from the Owens family. Sunshine Marshall says, "CJ, Chris Sawyer," and she's laughing. She got laughing emojis. Mm-hmm. And she also said, "Yes, he will cry. I love it." Yes. So you have a lot of people watching you today. So tell us, Jay, your turn.
And this is Proudest Moments.
Yes, proudest.
I would say for Isabella, it was when we put her in swimming lessons, and just to see her fear of water go away at an early age, that was something that was real important to us. So something as simple from jumping in the water and swimming from bank to bank, shorty in by herself. That was a very proud moment for me. For Benton, when he walked for the first time, he's always moved at his own speed and his own pace. And man, when he put it together, it was one of those family nights when we were all jamming out to some music, and he just said, tonight's the night, and he just let loose. And I would say for Brooklyn, um, I would go back to this morning, walking her down the stairs, and she's 2, but asked me to hold her hand as we're going down the steps. And I told her, I said, "I got you. Daddy always has you. Remember that." And she paused. She kind of nodded her head, and then she said, "Thank you, Daddy." So just that confirmation that even at 2, she understood that. And Brookie, I always say she's the strongest of the bunch. She'll be the one that when I get a call from the school, I'm not gonna have to ask what child it is. But she's just very. But so those were 3 that just really stand out to me.
Kevin, your turn.
Okay, I don't know what happened to my phone, but I lost you guys a couple times, so now all I have is audio. But anyway, actually, the proudest moment was yesterday. I got a chance to talk to all of them yesterday, and they thanked me for helping to raise them and be a part of their lives. And when you listen to them, you start to hear yourself in them. Even though I'm not their biological dad, I got a chance to impart some things into them that they actually grabbed a hold of, and I wanted to be a positive influence on their lives and give them some things in life that they could take uh, to their families. So just being able to talk to them yesterday and hearing what was going on in their lives and how they're growing and how they've grown into young men. They went from boys to men. So seeing that transition, it's different talking to a 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old. Now they're all almost 30. So, and they're sounding like
Uh,
men now.
Kevin,
Yeah.
they're all over 30.
Yeah.
And
Well,
TJ is 32 today.
yeah. Okay. So just hearing them, the transition from boys to men, that's what really, that was a proud moment for me yesterday to see them actually becoming men, making grown men decisions. They've got families. One is getting ready to start a family. The rest of them have families. So, just to see that and to hear that, that was a proud moment for me.
For those of you all who just joined us, um, and you didn't get the backstory, my brother Kevin came and got my boys one summer for summer vacation, and they ended up staying with him. But my dad always taught us that being a father figure to children, you don't have to have blood kin. You don't have to have bore them yourself. Being a father is more than just being a donor. Being a father is being there for them, loving them, guiding them, directing them, giving them advice, and um, going through the hard times with them. Because teenage boys, before they left, when they hit 13, Oh, Lord Jesus. I don't know what happened to all the testosterone, but every last one of them, when they hit 13, it was something in the water or something. And I was like, you all have lost your minds. Mama not playing that. So, yeah, it was something about that age that just kind of, that really challenged me as a mother. I know, Chris, you have older children and you
Mhm.
have a son. I have
Yes.
I have three sons.
Mhm.
So I don't know what age your son hit that wall when they
Mhm.
thought they were, can,
Uh-huh.
look
Yeah.
up.
Mhm.
Yeah. My grandmother told me, she said, I'm giving you this cast iron skillet because I know them boys gonna be bigger than you. But you let them know that you still the mama and you
Mhm.
still got control. So I always told them, the bigger you are, the harder you fall. So and I didn't have a lot of trouble out of them, but my gosh, that 13, I didn't think I was gonna make it. It was just that age, and it was all three of them just hit that age, and it was just like chaos. So, but it may have been just a mother son thing. It may not be a father son. So it's probably different. Um, Chris, uh, Carlos says, "Hey, big bro,"
What's up, Carl?
and Beretta says, "Absolutely," and Sunshine Marshall says, "Amen." Let me see if I have uh, any more questions over here. I think that's it. Hello, hello, hello to everyone who has just come in. Now, my next question. What is your greatest fear, or maybe one of your greatest fears in the past as a father or now?
Mm. Well, for me, like I said, my profession is a police officer, and I see a whole lot. So my greatest fears for any of my all my kids is that hidden agenda that's going on. For them to get kidnapped or molested or raped, or the things that's taboo that we don't all like to talk about, but it is reality. And
Mhm.
like I said, it's a fear, but of course, being a man of God, I trust God, and I think for me, that the counterparts, the other fathers, that they'll see as their children get older. Like, so my kids are my older two kids have reached adult age, is that the hardest part is to give them back. When you have them and you shelter them all their life, the hardest part is to give them back to God, so to speak. Even though they belong to God for always, but you know what I'm saying? Is because
Right,
when they get out there in the world, you just hope and pray that your teaching and your advice and the Holy Spirit and everything that you taught them, that they'll take it with them. And like I said, my greatest fear is that you can't be with them at all time, because I'm a protector by nature. I fought the bully in school. You want to be there for them, but the hard part is to let them go. Is when that voice of yours no longer becomes "cause I said so," it becomes just my advice. And like
right,
and with Kaylin now, she's being a free spirit. She's anointing. We have to watch her. She likes. She's very independent. Uh, we don't get out as much, but because it's COVID. But when we do get out, she try to go down her own aisle to get her own things at the grocery store. But is that evil element that people snatching kids. So you have to be on that guard all the time. And that's my greatest fear, because there's some real evil out there. We like to talk about God and Jesus and love, but it is a devil. It is some evil folks out there that
right.
does some evil and treacherous things. And like I said, we don't want to get out we just would hate to see our children or get that phone call that, that it did hit home. And so that's one of my greatest fears.
Okay.
I would say for me, it's not so much a fear as it just is a focus to do as best as I possibly can and help with my wife of just preparing our kids for this world that we're in these really uncharted waters, and just giving them balance, giving them understanding of what that is, what that looks like as best as possible. I know my son, because he's 2 right now, and everything that has been assessed about him, he's going to be bigger, he's going to be stronger. He's going to be outside a lot of the norms, and so I know because of that, just being able to prepare him to handle himself mentally and physically, as well as my daughters, teaching them self-confidence, self-worth, those things. When the culture says one thing, and being comfortable and being confident to still be able to operate under the guidance and the tenets that we've given them. And so again, it's not a fear, but I will say that there's something that me and my wife are very intentional about, and that we focus on a lot at an early age right now, because we know they're soaking up a lot. And I know from a fact that a lot of how I father, I got from my father, and I feel like he showed a lot of that by example. He wasn't a man of many words, but his actions spoke volumes. So just trying to carry that torch, so to speak, because I know what it did for me, even when I didn't like it. And so just pushing that on, not so much pushing that on, but carrying that on for my kids.
Michael?
Sure. So, I think when I think about what I'm scared about as a father, it's, what gets in the way of who I want my children to be. I want my children to grow into good men of faith. And I think obviously everything Chris said would be any parent's worst nightmare. So I can't do much more to build upon that, except on the other side of the equation, I think it would be just as terrible if, for whatever reason, they grew up to not be good and to be bad and to be, to not have faith and to not have a good moral system. And so that is a heavy responsibility as a parent, is to teach your kids what's right, what's wrong, help them along that path, let them make the mistakes they need to make to learn it, but really guide them. And so that's something that weighs heavily on me as a father, and probably on a lot of people on this call. So I think just the opposite side of that coin.
Trapper?
My greatest fears probably change on a weekly to monthly basis. I was terrified before he was born about having a son.
I've lost sound, Angela.
And then as that progressed, I was up a lot of nights, like just watching him on his monitor, just making sure he was breathing, to now, I think just being able or keeping him safe from the things that I can't protect him from. Like Chris was saying, whether that's, somebody with evil intentions or just a freak accident. And it's those things that really worry me. And I can't do anything about them, but those are my fears now.
Kevin?
Well, one of my biggest fears was, like I said, I got it when they were teenagers. I had never been a parent, so I was really freaking out. What do I do with 4 boys? I was raised, by my dad, good father, good man. So I had to kind of draw on that a lot of things that he taught me, that I taught them. Kind of like Chris, now that they're older. When they were younger, it was like, you do what I say. Now it's like, okay, this is advice. You do what you want to do because you're grown now, but this is advice. And so, again, talking to grown men, you have to give them advice and still try to help steer them in the right direction. And I still have some fears that, some of them are kind of going by the wayside and they're going to get it together. But like I said, just, we kept them in church. Uh, we prayed a lot. We were in the Word a lot. Had a lot of whoopings, a lot of all that good stuff that four boys go through. A lot of threatening and all that good stuff, man. But like I said, overall, I loved it. I love those guys just like they were mine, and I really have a heart for them and what they're doing in their lives right now, and just want to be a part of it.
Great, great, great. Okay, so Toya, welcome, welcome, welcome. Uh, do you have before I ask if you have any questions? Let me read some of the comments. Um, Linda J. Oakley says, "Amen." Denise Logan says, "Amen." Linda J. Oakley says, "It's hard. It's a hard world to bring up kids in these days." Annette Johnson says, "Amen. Well said, Chris. Remove them from your heart to place them in God's hands." Um, Christina Cass says, "I'm super excited you have daddies on. Many times they get left out. How awesome for them to be able to give their point of views. Exactly why I did this." Um, Life of Fantastic and Professional Nanny says, "It's amazing to see so many dads involved in the lives of their children." Um, and Sunshine Marshall says, "Prayer is so important." Now, Toya, do you have any questions?
I don't. But
Okay.
I really appreciate the sentiments from all these fathers. It's very beautiful. It's touching. It's real, and I think we need to uh, listen more to what dads have to say. So I really appreciate this segment. I appreciate you having me here. Um, so I really have no questions, but I really appreciate their viewpoint from their standpoint of fatherhood. It's beautiful.
Yes. Now I had Toya here because Toya does a uh, Daddy Go Daddy boot camp. Did I say that right?
Go dad go.
Go Dad. See, I messed it up. I knew I was gonna mess it up. Go Dad Go boot camp. She does a virtual Go Dad Go boot camp to help fathers alleviate some of those fears of, oh my God, I'm having a baby. What do I do now? So she does a virtual Go Dad Go, um, so they can do it in the comforts of their homes. Because I know some dads are embarrassed about going, admitting that I'm going to class, learn how to, take care of my baby. So she does it virtually in the comforts of your home, talk you down off the ledge, to calm your fears, to help you to figure out, okay, this is the scenario. This is what do you do? How do you handle this situation? What's going on in your mind? So I wanted her here specifically because I know that she deals. This is her specialty.
Yes.
And oh, bless you. Yeah, we can't hear you, but we see you. So,
Well, maybe I
um,
should introduce myself, Angela.
yes, please.
Well, my name is Toya Windsor, and I'm the owner of Sweet Peace Infant and Family. I am a birth and postpartum doula, a certified lactation consultant, and I specialize in sleep. I also specialize in toddlers, and that lifestyle is my favorite age. I love my 2 to 4 year olds. Uh, I like all ages, but toddlers are my favorite. Um, but I'm here because I have a passion for helping parents. I not only help fathers jump into or transition into fatherhood, but I bring so much more to the table when it comes to communicating with mom and finding a balance that works well for parents. There's no um, book that can honestly prepare you for fatherhood. You can read all the books, you can take all the classes, but if you have the proper tools, it can alleviate a lot of stress and anxiety, especially when dealing with someone who is dealing with recovery and hormones and a new baby that's crying all the time.
I
And
see your face lighting up, Michael.
trying to figure it out. Why is my baby up all night? What do I do with these diapers? How many diapers do I need? How many bottles do I need? How do I support my wife in breastfeeding and chest feeding? I have a child that was born early. What do I do with my preemie? And the special part about the virtual class is that you don't have to ask questions in front of anyone. You can take a private class and we can just jump into what your concerns are. And I show you everything you need to see and teach you how to do everything from how to hold your baby to swaddling, diapering. Um, and there's one aspect there are a few aspects that I like to focus on, and it's communication. If fathers want to include their partner, we actually discuss what it may look like, what your expectations are, and what it would look like when a baby gets here, because sometimes those conversations are not had, and it causes a lot of friction when the baby actually gets here. You know, how to actually hold a baby, and does mom feel comfortable with dad holding the baby? Does dad feel comfortable holding the baby? Did his father hold him? So we talk about some real situations that could help in the household. And I also focus on families that are separated and going through divorces, because sometimes life happens, and some family has circumstances where the mother and the father is not living in the same home. So if you have a divided home and the baby is with mom, and there's and has to spend time with dad, we talk about what it would look like. We talk about safe sleep practices, safety in both homes, what the expectations are from both homes. So Go Dad Go is so dad will have a voice, and to help him nurture and bond with his baby, and help uh, establish development for your child.
Yeah, all of that. See, I missed all that. Thank you, Toya. I did the short version. Thank you for explaining that and letting everyone know exactly what goes on. Um, but yeah, I have one final question for you all. Well, um, this is a quick question, but then I have my last final question. I have two about that. Okay, so I have been around people, families, that say, well, your husband can babysit the kid. And that bothers me so, because I'm thinking, he's a dad, babysitter. What makes you think that he would naturally take care of the kids to start out with? I guess it's the way they say it, or how they say that he can babysit the kids, instead of saying, well, your husband can take care of the kids, or their dad can take care of them. They say, well, he can babysit the kids, as if you come in every once in a while to take care of the kids and then you leave. And it just makes me cringe. So, have you all ever been called the babysitter, or had someone tell you you can babysit the kids?
For sure. So I was leaving work one day, and I just like told my boss, like amongst a group of people, I gotta get home to take care of my kids. He's like, oh, you're on babysitting duty, and like I called him out so hard, like my boss in front of everyone, just like in my gut, I was like, no, I'm being a dad. Like it's but like I'd say like everyone just like laughed because of like how passionate I was, like all of a sudden, because yeah, that gets my hackles up, because at home I'm fully an equal partner through everything. We're equal parents, and so 100% not a babysitter. So yeah, I hate that.
Yes, Victoria told me how passionate you are as a father. And she said, he will be a great person. Let me introduce you to him. I said, okay. So yeah, she told me how passionate you were. Anybody else been called a babysitter? That would be a no.
No.
Okay.
I think I've heard I'm watching a kid.
Oh,
I have a brother
Sunshine
dad
Marshall
before the
says,
dad.
right. Kaylin has a whole dad slash father. Thank God. So, but yeah, I just know when Toya was talking, that question hit my brain, and I know how it bugs me. So my last question or statement is to tell us a funny story, something funny that happened with your kids. Hilarious that you now laugh at. It might have been embarrassing, it might have just been like, oh Lord, what am I going to do now? At that moment, but now you can sit back and laugh at it and like, what did I panic for? What, why did I do that? So, who wants to start?
Well, for me, out of my three, I mean, CJ has, him being, he was just different. He was just real different. He and Kristen 2 years apart, they night and day. I mean, totally different. When he was about, I want to say he was about 6, maybe 5. He was in kindergarten or either first grade, somewhere along that line. And Kristen and CJ, they both had made honor roll that particular day, and the school had given them certificates in this restaurant that was in North Jackson for all the kids throughout the city that made honor roll. They said if you bring your certificate, they can eat free. So we took them out to eat, and they ordered what they wanted, and they ate and everything. And of course, whenever you go out to eat, you always see people that you know. And so as we was walking out, we saw one of the administrators that we knew from school. He was a retired principal, and his wife was sitting there, and she was eating a salad. She had a lot of fruit in her salad. And they were standing there talking, asking how we was doing, and complimenting the kids, how beautiful they were and nice and everything. And while we were standing there talking, I noticed, and it looked like it was in slow motion. I could see that lit hand of CJ's looked like it was going in slow motion, and he got an orange out of the lady's plate and put it in his mouth. And I was so shocked. And Kristen, like I said, Kristen CJ 2 years apart. She was like 7 or 8, and she was just bawling out laughing. But I was in total shock. And I was like, I couldn't believe, because my children, they home trained. They what, he wasn't hungry. But to see him, I mean, he took his hand and put in that lady's bowl and got a orange out of her bowl of salad. And we was all in awe. I mean, we didn't know what to say. And she she being so nice and kind, she was like, "Oh, that's so sweet. He wanted some fruit." I was like, it was just one of those moments. I was like, CJ, I'm like, and he just, and he was so nonchalant about it. He was like, Dad, I wanted the orange. It was just
He just reached the ground.
It was crazy, but and Samantha and I, we just talked about that last week. She was like, it was just hilarious. It was one of those embarrassing, awkward moments. It was just, yeah. It was,
Oh my gosh. What can you say?
Goodness.
Oh my gosh. Okay, who wants to go next? Okay, don't everybody talk at once.
I think so. Our one of our better ones was it was before he was born, but it still counts because it was when we were telling the family if we were having a boy or a girl. And my wife is kind of has this sick fetish where she likes to smash cake in people's faces, and so that's what she wanted to do was smash a cake in my face, and the color of the cake would be blue for a boy and pink for a girl, and she got this cake and she was all excited about it, and she put it in the freezer, and I was looking at it and I was like, hey, you should take that cake out of the freezer like the day before. And she's like, oh yeah, okay, I'll do that. And the morning we did this on the Thanksgiving, and so the morning of Thanksgiving she takes that cake out, and I was like, hey, listen, like I got hit in the nose a lot growing up, please just don't break my nose. And I was like, are you sure that cake is thawed out? She's like, oh, yeah, it's thawed out. Yeah, okay. And so we're telling the family, she takes that cake like she's pitching in the World Series and smashes it in my face, and that thing is rock solid. And so it didn't smash at all. And so then it didn't smash. She did it again and just smashes it in my face again. And we'll just stop. I don't care what we're having. Just please stop. My face hurts.
Oh my gosh. Did it break your nose?
I don't know. It felt like it.
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy.
Okay, that was a funny story.
Mhm.
Jay, you have one? I know you have several.
I do. The one that always sticks out to me is actually the day that Bella was born. Yolanda was with her father, my father-in-law. So while she's actually in labor, and I can feel her aura, she's probably watching, so I hear it when we go off. But she's actually getting her hair done while she's having contractions, and her father is right there with her. So if you can imagine that, and then her stomach starts hurting, they get to the house, and when she pretty much figures out she's having the baby, my father-in-law, when I say freezes up, he freezes up like an icicle. Now, I'm trying to be prepared because Bella's supposed to be due in another week. So I'm like, I'm going to try to be proactive for once in my life and be organized and be playing. I'm going to have my bag ready and all that. She comes in, screaming, hollering, my father-in-law. And so, and I'm getting there. But she's like, we got to go. Her bag isn't ready. So I do one of these full arm swings, like supermarket sweeps, where you just hit an aisle. So I don't know what hit the bag. It was just whatever was on her vanity table. All went in the duffel bag. Meanwhile, my father-in-law is still standing there still. And I'm saying, Mr. B, we got to get her in the car so we can get to the hospital. Huh? What? Huh? What? I'm like, we got to, I mean, it was probably, if I could ever define a day that I was the most focused. So I get her in the car. He jumps in the wrong car in the driver's seat. And I'm like, what are you doing? And and I'm very respectful. But on this day, I was like, I need you to get out the car so we can get to the hospital so your daughter can have your grandbaby. And he's still not putting it all together. He's still back at the beauty shop, like she getting her hair washed and shampooed. So I'm speeding down 75, which Dallas is already treacherous. We pull into the hospital. The driving out here is crazy. So a guy in a souped up Mustang, he thinks I'm trying to steal a parking spot, so he cuts me off. I put the car in brake, and I had to calm myself down. I'm like, your wife is about to have your baby. You don't need to be out in the parking lot about to fight somebody over a parking spot you don't want. So my wife is yelling at me, Jay, get back in the car. Get back in the car. We still got to get to the emergency entrance. I'm like, okay, woosah. Get her checked in. I think by this time, I don't know, it was so fast, and she's squirming. You know, the nurse is like, I need her to stay on the table. I'm trying to keep her on the table. My father-in-law, who's actually in the room, you can hear him in the back while my wife is like in pain because she's in labor having a child. My father-in-law, oh my goodness, I just can't take it. Oh Jesus, oh I can't. And I said, can everybody who's not having a baby leave the room, please, so that the person that's actually about to give birth can do it. And I mean, he was just, and it was like one of those things from Martin. Okay, I need you to get out. I love you. All due respect, get out, please. And so I have a lot of stories, but that's the one because my father-in-law, he's military. He got a Purple Heart. He done been shot 4 or 5 times. He done had a couple bypasses. He's motorcycle X. He been drugged down 45. So he's your man's man. But on this day, when his baby was having a baby, all that went out the window. And so whenever he gets to talking tough, I say never, Mr. B, because I remember July 25th, 2014, when you froze. And when I say froze, my brother, you froze. But luckily and thankfully, I just went into go mode, and we were able to, bring her into the world safe and sound. But I never let him lay that one down. So when he get to talking tough, I said, well, you remember that one time, and he'll just give me a look. He'll give me a look. So that's a whole kind of family one there.
Linda J. Oakley says, Trapper, that was awful. I always root for the underdog, getting frozen cake in the face. Anyway, Elonda says, Miss Angela, that's not how it happened.
This is for fathers. Look, you were in pain trying to get some whatever the shampoo it is she like on her head. Because when we had twins, there was no hair appointment. We were taking a photo shoot before we went up into the hospital. It was completely different.
Okay, Christina says, oh Lord, I'm driving, but I'm crying, laughing. I had to pull over. Yes, I'm about to fall out of my chair, so I know how you feel. Okay, Michael.
Well, so I thought I had like the best father-in-law during my wife's labor story, but Jay's like blew it out of the water. So I wasn't going to tell that one, but just quickly, my wife, like an hour before she's like literally giving birth, my father-in-law texts me from my house asking how to turn the dishwasher on. I'm like, how in the world is that what you need to know at this particular moment? So, is better. So the story I wanted to tell, I guess a little bit of backstory. It sounds like, Jay, you have a large son. I have 2 sons that are super small. My first son, both of them were born like at full term. My first son was 6 pounds. My second son was 5 pounds, 15 ounces. Super healthy, but just small. So fast forward 2 years, obviously my firstborn son, still super small. So I basically try to get him to eat as much food as I possibly can in the hopes that I can get him a little bit bigger. Never's worked yet, but we went to dinner one night, just the 2 of us, at this barbecue place in town called Rudy's. He likes it because there's a playground out back. I can usually use the playground to like tempt him to eat a little bit more food than he otherwise would. And actually, I was sitting there, he was pounding turkey, pounding beans, eating the brisket. I was like, all right, you're doing a really good job. If you just have one more really big bite, you can go out to the playground. And he goes, oh. And he takes the biggest bite of bread you have ever seen a child shove in his face. And he's chewing it. I'm like, oh, this is great. We're about to go to the park. And then he all of a sudden just starts gagging out of nowhere. I'm like, oh, this is not ending well. This is not ending well. And then like 2 seconds later, it's just projectile.
Oh my God.
Full on across the table. I look and he's starting to cry because he's like, oh, I'm vomiting on my pants. I vomit all over my pants. And like he's just sitting there screaming. I open my diaper bag. I have nothing in it. Like the thing is empty. I have like a snack in there, like maximum. I'm like, we just gotta go. He's like, what about the park? I was like, sorry, your pants. Then I drew attention to the pants again, and he got upset again. There was vomit all over his pants, and like that was awful, and it was fine. And we drove home, and he was naked. But now he cannot see a Rudy's or yellow pants or barbecue without telling me, remember that time at Rudy's you made me eat the bread and I vomited everywhere? To this day, he sees any of those three things, we're talking about the story again.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. One last thing. I know I said that was the last thing, but one last thing. What is one thing that you wish you knew about fatherhood before you had your babies?
Get the pajamas with zippers.
Beg your pardon?
Said get the pajamas with the zippers.
Yes. That's my biggest tip for new parents. The ones that zip from the bottom, not from the top.
My advice for a dad who likes to exercise is get a really good running stroller, because like you can simultaneously take care of your kid and take care of your own personal needs, and it can actually turn into a really good like fun bonding time.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. My thing would be understanding what real sacrifice is. You know, we think we know what sacrifice is, but until you have people depending on you, like your children, your wife, your family, that's sacrifice. And one thing else I would say to that for me is you don't have to have a lot of money to show love for your children. Because kids not gonna remember all the toys, all the clothes, all the things. But what they will remember is time. They will remember time. You know, it was a lot of times I didn't have no money, but I was able to get them to the park, go to McDonald's and get a dollar ice cream cone. And we talk about that today. You know, they don't remember the Xboxes that cost $300 and $400. They don't remember that doll that they had to have, that they were gonna die. But they remember the time. They remember the time. Put in the time. That's what I say. Just put in the time. You don't have to have a lot of money, but they remember the time.
Good. Great advice.
I would echo that also because I can remember praying and asking 4 times before my kids came, and then when they came, and a lot of that time went to them. So just understanding, what that time looks like for you personally, and then just being intentional with it. I joke with my wife and say, if I could ever get on the time management of Jack Bauer, I would be successful. If y'all don't know who Jack Bauer is, that's from the show 24. We try to save the world in 24 hours, and so literally every minute of that day is used. And with 3 of them, I truly feel like I have to make every hour count when I'm with them, and then just when I have all the other stuff going on. So I think that's just the biggest one. I don't think people realize the actual time that's required to just bring your kids in the world and bring them up.
Amen.
Good advice. Okay, so April Harris says, enjoyed this segment so much and funny stories. And hey to my brother Chris. Sarah Boyle says, hi Trapper, best dad ever. So you all have fans. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Linda J. Oakley says, great questions and responses. Thanks, Angela. You are the best. Thanks, Toya. Thanks, Daz, Chris J., Kevin Trapper, and Michael. Nice hearing from your perspective and your experience. We're going to have to do a Dad show again. This is going better than I thought. But thank you, Dads, for joining us. Thank you, Toya, for joining us. And thank you for giving us your perspective and telling your truths. And I know there are a lot of other dads out there that are scared. They're feeling some of the same feelings that you all have. And thank you for, letting them know it's okay and that they're not the only one that has been out there on the ledge and didn't jump. They came back off the ledge and everything was fine. The kids are still alive and y'all are still alive. So that's the important thing. But thank you all so much for joining us today. Toya, do you have any words before I give my last minute announcements? Toya?
Yes, if any new dads, any fathers, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Your camera froze for a second, but I
Can
can
you
hear
hear
you.
me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So if you know any new dads, any young fathers that need some mentoring, need some direction, you can send me. You can find me a book, a service for Go or any of my other services at facebook.com/Sweet Peace Infinite Family. And you can just book that service. Um, do we have a link on this segment, Angela, for
No, but you
Sweet
can
Peace?
put your information when we get done. You can go on Facebook and put your link in the
Okay,
comments because a lot of people just come and see what's in the comments.
sounds good.
So you can put your link in the comments and excuse me, and so people can come and get your information and know where to find you. Okay, I have a couple announcements.
Sounds
As
good.
y'all can see behind me, the happy birthday sign. Ask the Nanny, Ask the Nanny turned 3 on September the 1st. So this is our third year. Yay! And this is our first show since we turned 3. So
Yay!
yay! I'm doing it with fathers. Yay! Which means that I need to do it more often. Yay! And if you all have not signed up, go to Ask the Nanny. There's a post that's pinned up at the top that says "Yippee, we're turning 3." Uh, Follow the directions. I am giving out gift cards every day, one every day of this month. So if you have not signed up for the giveaway, for a chance to win a free gift card, please do so. Next week is National Nanny Recognition Week. And there's so many different things going on. So be sure that you check out all the Facebook, all the Instagrams. There are bracelets being given away, there are classes being given away, there's money being given away, there are cards. There's so much stuff that's being given away. There's so many things. I am participating next Thursday night with Nanny Tees in a nannypreneurship event. It is an what is online nanny fair. So I will be selling my jams on Thursday night. Next Wednesday night, ladies, nannies, I am going to do a special show next Wednesday night with um, Jennifer from Safety Pin. A lot of you may remember her from Nanny Palooza. Now, she has a special going on just for the nannies. Instead of the $50 fee, it's only $15. So you might want to be here next week. Now, if you're
Oh,
wondering what a
wow.
safety pin is, safety pin does a background check. They check all the states and it's a very thorough background check. They check your motor vehicle. They check all the states for your name. It's more intense. It's kind of like you're applying for the police department when they go through all your business and how many, everything, every hair on your head. That's how intense it is. But it only takes 5 minutes to sign up and it helps you to get more jobs. When you have a background check on file, and parents can verify it, you get hired quicker. So I'm just saying you might want to be here. It's a huge discount from $50 to 15. So be here next Wednesday and next Monday again, right here for another episode of Ask the Nanny. And last but not least, this Friday, the online parent and nanny conference from the U.S. Nanny Association is starting on this Friday. I will be live on Saturday from 11 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to have games. We're going to have silly hat day all day long. You will see me in different hats. And we're going to have a question and answer with some of the speakers from our seminars. And guess who's giving away swag bags? Yeah, I don't want to miss this. I put this together myself, and y'all know me. Be something good. So I will see you all this week, all next week, and just be here, be present, and watch your Facebook. So, yes.
I want to say before we get off, thank you. One of the best things you did for us was train our kids on how to sleep from 8 to 12 hours as newborn twins. This is just a quick testimonial. When we had Isabella, me and my wife decided to DIY, and it was madness. And we knew that when we had twins, we were going to have to take a different approach. And I remember all the stuff we went through to hire you, and it made me think about it when we talked about that app with the background check and how we gave you the 3rd degree and all that. And that first week that you came in, I did not know how to act because it was 10:30, babies were asleep, and I was like, I don't know what to do. And my wife was like, I'm going to bed. I don't know what you're going to do. And my kids are 2 years old now, and their schedule can get interrupted. Stuff can come up. We can travel, whatever. But when we lay them down, it's a solid 10 to 12 hours. So I appreciate, and I can't take credit for any of that. And I told my wife, what do I have to give up to get my peace and my sleep back? And I gave it up quick, but I thank you for that because that still holds true to this day with them on that stuff that you did for them. So thank you.
You are so welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for the testimonial.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I tell fellas all the time, I know several guys who are having twins and who are just having babies, and I tell them, get you a night nanny. They like, what is it? Is it even real? I said, bro, I didn't know myself. I thought it was a lie till I saw it with my own eyes. I said, you can find anything on social media. So I think about the only thing is you're not in Dallas anymore, but I still put the word out for you.
Well, Dallas is 2.5 hours away.
Okay.
I was working from February to March this year until everything got shut down, and I was like, I'm coming home. I'm sorry, I'm going home. If Dallas shuts down, I'm going home. So I came home, and the next day Austin shut down. I was like, oh well, I'm at home. So, but yes, does anybody else have anything else to say before we go?
Just appreciate you having us. It was my pleasure, and I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for inviting me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
It was an honor to have you all, and thank you for, like I said, thank you for sharing your stories, and so other gentlemen, other fathers will know. Yeah, this is the norm, and yeah, it's okay to feel this way. We'll get past it. Just be patient. You'll get past it. Now, let's see. Sunshine Marshall says, great panel discussion. Happy birthday. Thanks for being a blessing. You're welcome. And she says, that jam is so good. Thank you. And Linda J. Oakley says, happy birthday, Asinati. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you all. And we will see you all this week. Well, I will see you tomorrow night because I'm going to be on U.S. Nanny Association with a couple of our speakers from our seminars on the road to the Parent and Nanny Conference online. So I'll see you all tomorrow night on U.S. Nanny Association page at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. See you there. Thank you all. Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, good night. Hey,
Good
nice
night.
meeting you, fellas.